to another edition of Did You Know Doctor Who, what you may not know about Doctor Who. This time we're going to have a look at another two-parter, the finale to Series 2 of the rebooted era, Army of Ghosts and Doomsday. I hope you enjoy. In terms of canonical chronology, Army of Ghosts technically comes after Love and Monsters. The story was originally set in Cardiff, with the time rift being involved the same one from Boomtown. To ensure that Noel Clarke and Sean Dingwall was available, production filmed the story at the same time as Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel. Believe it or not, the TV show Ghost Watch was a real show on the BBC. It was released in 1992, but the show was taken off air after over 30,000 complaints about how frightening the show was, and resulted in the suicide of a 13-year-old mentally ill teenager. To keep the appearance of the Daleks secret, the final scene of Army of Ghosts was removed from all preview tapes and replaced with the title card reading "Final scene withheld until transmission." The concept of the Daleks and the Cybermen both appearing on screen was first proposed in 1967, but was vetoed by Terry Nation, the creator of the Daleks. An item of discussion between the production staff was over who would rescue Rose. Davies and Julie Gardner wanted Pete to rescue her, while Clark and Phil Collinson wanted Mickey. The role was ultimately given to Pete to emphasise that he had accepted Rose as a surrogate daughter. Many elements from the story was lifted from his Dark Materials, with its author Phil Pullman being flattered by the inspiration. The working title for Army of Ghosts was Torchwood Rises. The Doctor says Alonzi and Alonzi Alonzo for the first time in this story. Freema Agyeman made a pre-Martha appearance in this episode as the doomed Torchwood worker. Russell T Davies had stated that he would have rewritten the episode so that the character survived. Had he known, Agyeman would have turned out to be a perfect casting choice to fill in the soon-to-be vacant companion role. Murray Gold's theme to the Torchwood television series debuts in this episode as incremental music. The scene in which the Doctor asks the Cyber Leader about the Void Ship echoes the parting of the ways when the Doctor asks the Dalek Emperor how it came up with the word Bad Wolf, which also had the Dalek Emperor replying that it had nothing to do with him, much like the Cyber Leader said in this story. This is the first appearance of the Cyber Leader since Silver Nemesis. Yvonne Hartman was originally written for an older actress, but when none of the performers in that age range were free, the much younger Tracy Ann Oderman was hired. In the clip parodying EastEnders, the ghost being shouted at stands directly in front of two bronze objects on the mantle, visible from about ear height, and the ghost keeps shifting from left and right. The distortion around it causes the object to appear as two thin tubes, stretching up and joining over the top of the head, a very subtle clue as to the ghost's true nature. Doomsday is the final story where the control room of the TARDIS is dimly lit. This is currently the only Russell T Davies finale to not feature a regeneration of sorts. The Doctor tells Rose to set all the coordinates to 6. This would be 666, or the number of the beast. This is further correlated to the story as sending the Daleks and the Cybermen to hell, which is what some people call the Void. Russell T Davies told press release Rose Tyler was gone for good. He told Billy Piper, "See you in 2 years." One expensive sequence removed from the script at development stage involved the Doctor and Rose ascending to the top of Torchwood Tower in the Jaffa Sun Glider, described as a space canoe, mentioned in the previous story. This was replaced in the much simpler moment of Jake summoning them into the lift. More specifically, the money was needed to pay for the beast at the end of the Satan pit, which otherwise might have been represented as a child. Also, the fact that crashing into the top floor of a skyscraper within 5 years of 9/11 might have given off the wrong image. Dalek Jess was originally named Rabe. This was changed because it sounded too much like Ray. Doomsday aired the same week as the 2006 World Cup. Radio Times did variant covers of a team of Cybermen and a team of Daleks on a football pitch, the lead holding a football. Nicholas Briggs revealed that he disagreed with the way Dalek Sek's opening lines was portrayed. In its original form, Briggs thought it sounded as though Sek was asking something to another Dalek, but then answering his own question. He asked the director, Graham Harper, if they could split it into 2 lines, have Sek turn to a gold Dalek and then answer the question. Nicholas went on to say Graham agreed, but they had to get special permission to change the script. Russell T Davies ruled out the possibility of killing Rose off on the grounds of being too demoralising. Secrecy was very tight surrounding the filming of the 2 final scenes of the episode. So only David Tennant and Billy Piper were given the script for their farewell scene in advance, with the director receiving his copies soon before filming. According to Tennant, the filming of the Catherine Tate cameo was a rare example of a surprise being kept without being spoiled. The scene was shot with minimal crew while the rest of the production team were off having their wrap party. As such, the Tate scenes were actually shot long after the Doctor and Rose's farewell scene, which was filmed during an earlier production block. Dalek Sec is the same prop as the Metaltron that appeared in the first Dalek story in the Revival era, Dalek, just repainted. The original model of Dalek Sec is accidentally featured during the Dalek attack. It is notable for having silver orbs. The Cult of Skaro's voices are indicators of which Dalek is which. Dalek Sec has a high-pitched voice, Dalek Can has the lowest-pitched voice, Dalek Jas has the highest-pitched voice, while They has a regular voice. The reason for the Daleks appearing is thanks to an agreement with the Terry Nation estate that meant the Daleks have to appear at least once in every Revival series. Whilst black Daleks have appeared in the series and even in movies, Dalek Sec is technically the first fully black Dalek, as other black Daleks have been mixed in with other colours. During the first meeting with the Daleks and the Cybermen, there are several on-screen editing mistakes. For example, the Doctor holding the phone and taking a deep breath is repeated, as well as the moment of the two Cybermen are being killed. They land right by Dalek Bay, despite being a distant away. In fact, their deaths are clips from the ambush scene, as evident by the background and debris. The line, "You'll be like us," is a reference to the tomb of the Cybermen. The name Genesis Ark clearly borrows from the Hebrew Bible, making a connection to Noah's Ark in the Book of Genesis, which carries humans and other creatures from destruction in the narrative, like the Daleks escaping the Time War. And that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. Army of Ghosts / Doomsday is a fantastic finale to Series 2 in my opinion. I absolutely love this two-parter. Now, I won't lie, when I was rewatching Series 2 during lockdown, I won't lie, Series 2 did sort of go down in quality for me, if I'm perfectly honest. Like, Series 2, when I was young, I absolutely loved, but upon rewatching, I realised, wow, Series 2 kind of was mid. Like, if I'm perfectly honest, it's kind of mediocre series in general. Like, there are some really great stories, like, of course, the Cyberman 2-part, the Girl in the Fireplace. There's some good, alright stories, like Tooth and Claw and School Reunion. And this finale is obviously fantastic. I absolutely love it. I do think that is one of the weaker finales, however. I do think it is the weakest of all the Russell T Davies era finales. Like, you got The Parting of the Ways / or Battle / The Parting of the Ways, which is absolutely wonderful. You got the Utopia trilogy, which is absolutely brilliant. And of course, the Solna / Journey's End, which is just amazing in every sense of the word. It is truly, truly fantastic. It is wonderful seeing Davros and all the other characters, whereas this one feels it's still really, really good. Don't get me wrong, it's emotional, it's effective in every sense of the word, but it definitely feels like the weakest of the lot. If I were to rank them, by no means the weakest finale, that definitely goes to Series 6, but this definitely is a weaker finale in the Russell T Davies era. But let's not talk about the negativity, let's just talk about some of the positivity. The Daleks vs. Cybermen is such a great concept, and I kind of wish they went a little bit more with it. Whilst I do love the fact that we're seeing the Daleks fight the Cybermen, I feel like they could have done a lot more. There could have been a lot more happening in terms of the conflict. But at the same time, I do like the idea that, these two invasive forces have come in at the same time, which is quite humorous to think about. These two alien forces are attacking at the same time. Well, I say this is alien forces. Cybermen aren't really aliens. Or at least these Cybermen aren't. But nonetheless, an absolutely fantastic story. A really emotional ending. And of course, the ending with Catherine Tate, leading up to the Runaway Bride, is wonderful. Truly a great story. Like, I will say, it's truly a great story. I love the Cult of Sky. I love how this is like the first of their trilogy, if you think of it like that, because of course Daleks seem to have all these trilogies almost, whether it's the Pertwee era trilogy or the Civil War trilogy or even the Cult trilogy. But I digress. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Did You Know Doctor Who, and I'll see you next time.